it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my Asexualized. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now, underneath this video. Please hit that bell icon also to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 asexual stories. They are real life asexual stories. Love, life and sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. So welcome to Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month for day 27. Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month is all about celebrating our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it, which is the main goal of this book. This book also gives a really good insight into what asexuals really think of love, life and sex. You can grab a copy in the description below. Now, today's video is slightly different in the fact that I'm going to be reading my own asexual perspective from the Asexual Perspectives book, because I want to talk to you tonight about why it's so difficult to find an asexual relationship match, and even give you a little bit of advice on what you can do about it. So in the book, there's a chance for all you lovely people who've read the book to ask me questions about love, life and sex, like everyone else in the book has been asked. And the question is, if you are not in a relationship, would you like to be in one? And if so, why? And what type of relationship? Romantic, platonic? What would your ideal relationship look like? And would you be in a relationship with a sexual person or not? And reason why? Now, obviously, there's various views on this, but I'd like to give mine tonight, if I may. So, or this morning, wherever you are. It's nighttime in the UK. So I would only ever, this is my own asexual perspective, Sandra Bellamy. So the author. So I would only ever want to be in a relationship with an asexual romantic guy, never a sexual guy, because in my experience, they all need sex as part of a relationship to be completely happy and fulfilled. And they cannot fulfill my need of lots of kissing without sex. So we are compatible. I think it is counterproductive to start a relationship with problems like this and try to make it work. The world is huge and asexuals are thousands in numbers. 1% of the population is still huge. Why limit yourself to being with someone who you are not compatible with from the offset in this way? Having said that, my heart does go out to each and every asexual that struggles to find a compatible match. I understand this better than a lot of people with my hyper-romanticism and multiple attractions that are not reciprocated, because as a friend once said to me, finding my soulmate is not meant to be easy, but it will be rewarding when I find them. I have known since 10 that I have a soulmate. I did not know he was foreign or Indian until I discovered I am asexual. I'm convinced he's foreign and Indian. I really am. I just know it. I have a soulmate, you know. Maybe he's from a past life. But I definitely have a soulmate. And I know he's an Indian guy somewhere. I just know these things. That's who I'm most aesthetically attracted to. That's who I'm most romantically attracted to. That's who I'm most intelligently, creatively attracted to. Soulmate connection with is Indian guys. So I haven't found him yet still. And I wrote this book and published it in 2017. It took me a year to write, actually. 2017 is when I published it. So asexuals struggle to get a match because if sex is never involved, that means we have to focus much more on other things in a relationship, such as the compatibility of likes, dislikes, interests and hobbies, and the varying degrees of physical affection one likes to give or receive, or not, as the case may be. This can be hard because although we have asexuality as a common link, we can be so very different in these areas. But this is where some heterosexuals will fail, because they are so focused on the passion of the relationship and sometimes the sexual addiction, they will let other incompatibilities go undetected. And when there are harder times ahead, and or they can't have sex as much for some reason. These incompatibilities show through, and there is often less communication because they are both feeling sexually neglected or rejected. Talking was probably not as important as it should have been made at the beginning of the relationship, and because they are not used to talking about such things, the gap between them widens. Open communication, the ability to talk about anything and everything with ease, your partner wanting to do that, can make or break a relationship. And this is why a lot of people don't realize. This is what a lot of people don't realize, and it can lead to divorce or splitting up. A lot of people have emotional needs that aren't met either, and the way those are communicated should also be through talking. I have learned that if a guy is not willing or wanting to talk with me openly or honestly and enjoy doing that, then it is no go. However much I like him, as it won't work, or at least it would not work for me. I have met people who say they are interested in me or others and they don't like talking that much. But believe me, when they have found the one, their behavior changes. Then they want to talk to them and message them lots. It's natural for them. So if it's not natural for them with me, then I am not the one for them, sadly or fortunately, depending on which way you look at it. So my ideal relationship would be with an Indian asexual heteromantic or demi-romantic guy who loved me implicitly and couldn't get enough of me and my quirky personality. I want him to talk to me for hours about anything and everything, and he would love snogging my face off just as much as I love snogging his face off, knowing it will never lead to sex. I would like him to be nude to repulse like me, or in the very least not be attracted to it or want it to look at it, particularly in movies or at the cinema, as that is the one thing that makes me angry in a relationship. I have a boyfriend and he is looking at that. I'm a bit old-fashioned in that one way, because although I have no desire to be naked with anyone, including my boyfriend if I had one, I do believe he should only have eyes for me in that regard, because he's in a relationship with me. I hardly ever watch TV and I'm selective about the movies I watch, trying to avoid as much nudity as possible, which most of the time that with the films I like, I can do. I mean, I do a lot of no sex movie reviews on this channel. So if there was a nudity on TV and I happened to have it on once a blue moon, I would turn it off or turn it over or look the other way. In the cinema, if nudity happens to be on, I would usually look down at the floor or up at the ceiling, or if watching movies at home, I would usually fast forward it if it had a sex in it, but usually I don't have films with that in it. I hate nudity, as you might have guessed, apart from I'm okay with looking at myself naked in the mirror every day after I shower. So it's really important, as you can see, to get the right match, because you don't want anything that will trigger you. So for me, if a guy was looking at nudity in general, that would really trigger me. I don't know if I can get over that. I don't know if I've got better at that. I'm better at not caring, because I haven't been in a relationship for a long time, and I certainly haven't been, well, I say in a relationship for a long time. I had a brief relationship this year it only lasted about a couple of weeks with a British guy because he wasn't suitable, but at least I gave it a go. Hey, but you know, we didn't go to the cinema together, so I haven't been in a relationship and gone to the cinema with a guy for a long time. But I tend to get no sex movies anyway to watch. But you know, different people have different triggers. You know, you might have had some bad experience in something or part of your life, and then you get with a person and they're always triggering you. You know, you might be the type of person who likes a lot of daily communication, and you know, there might be other people that don't like much communication. They might like one text every few days or week from you. You know, you've really got to work out exactly what your wants are, your needs, your likes, your dislikes, and the deal breakers. You know, I can't have a guy who wants kids. I categorically don't want children. The only children I consider are furry kids, animal kids, pets. You know, I don't want children. Haven't want children since I'm 15. I don't want to get married, and I'm happy living where I live. So I don't want a sex-free, monogamous, committed relationship where I live separately from the guy. You know, I'm only attracted to guys as well. So, you know, for me, there are certain things that are really, really, you know, they're really important to me. And also, you know, you need to be looking at those things for yourself. The way to avoid all this mismatch, is to be very honest and true to who you are and true to yourself. Don't keep saying, oh, I can put up with anything, because you can't. To be honest, I really need to find a young asexual foreign guy. I want an Indian guy, because I believe I've got an Indian soulmate. I absolutely categorically believe that. And if I have, then it means he will find me eventually. But in the least, I know that I'm meant to be with someone younger, definitely in his 20s, ideally. Maybe early 30s, but foreign if he's in his 30s. If he's in his 20s, I could possibly be with a British guy. But really, foreign guy is my thing. I feel much more physically comfortable in general around a foreign guy. And a lot of guys are too old for me. Do you know what I mean? I need a younger guy. So you've really got to know what you want in life. You've really, really got to hone down exactly what you want in your life. You've really got to be as specific as possible to avoid getting a mismatch. But the reason it's so difficult for an asexual to find a match is obviously, the majority of heterosexuals or sexuals in general, they do want sex. And if you're an asexual that doesn't want sex or doesn't want it that often, then there's an incompatibility there for a start. So that cuts out a lot of the sexual population for you. Then we've got the asexuals, but within the asexual spectrum and world, there are so many variations. Some asexuals like to be touched, some are touch averse, some asexuals like kissing, some asexuals don't like any kissing, some asexuals like a peck on the cheek, some asexuals like full-on snogging, some asexuals like nudity, some asexuals don't. Some asexuals just want to walk in nature, look around museums, go on holiday, travel and stuff. Other asexuals don't want to do any of that. Some asexuals love playing video games. It's a huge part of their life, and they want someone that plays that as well. And it's no good saying, oh, I'll play it with you and then get bored, because if you're not really into video games, be honest with yourself. There's no point in being with someone who's a prolific gamer and then you get in the relationship, you don't want to do it. You'll end up spending a lot more time apart because you're not being true to them, and they need to carry on their activity that makes them happy. If they're happy for you to not like video games, even if they do, that's great. But if one of their requirements is must like video games, which I do see in quite a lot of asexual profiles, then you've got to know that, that's basically a deal breaker for them, and do I think that some sexuals can live without sex? I think there are a few in the world that can. Yes, I think there's some that do that are not happy about it, and some that do that are happy about it. But I think the majority of sexuals do need sex at some point, and I don't want that to be a battle for you. But it's like, I have very specific needs, physical needs in an asexual relationship, some of which are better suited to a sexual guy because I'm very sexual behaviour with the way I like to kiss, but I don't like nudity and don't like sex. So I'm not suitable for a sexual guy in that way, So unless I found a sex repulsed sexual person who happened to love kissing but couldn't stand sex, or had a really low libido and really didn't give a stuff nor monkeys about it, then it'd be and wasn't into porn, then it would be really, which would maybe happen. It's not going to be any good for me. And so you've really got to hone down exactly what you're looking for in a relationship. You've got to know it. You've got to know what type of things do you want to do with a partner? Where do you want to go? I know that I want the ability to go somewhere with my guy to theme parks, zoos, aquariums, outdoor meals, and the cinema. Those are the 5 things I love to do with myself. So I want to be able to go out with a guy and do those things, because if I'm already doing those things for myself and a guy's not bothered about doing any of them or very little of them, then I'm going to spending more time on my own, carrying on doing them. And I don't mind spending some time on my own still in a relationship doing them. It's good and healthy for me. Just like you should always self-date and you should always take yourself out and not be with the other person 24/7. You need your own space. You need your own time apart. You need to do your own thing. But, if you're constantly on your own and just doing the same things you did as you were single, and there's not much difference, and you're not really spending much time with that person because you've got nothing, no interests or hobbies or places to go to that you both want to go to, you're just doing it for the sake of it in the beginning of the relationship, which you'll get very bored of, there's no point. I know that I'm not going to be really suited to a guy who does rock climbing, abseiling, and all that lot if he wants me to be involved in that, because I'm just not an outdoorsy girl. I'm an indoorsy girl, really. And a day trip girl, not a scenery girl as such. So, I'm mostly indoors watching movies. I'm eating indoors. Theme parks, zoos, and aquariums, they're outdoors, but they're not outdoor sporting activities or anything like that. They're not sport. Aquariums usually indoors, and even zoos have got parts indoors. There's only really a theme park that's outside, like absolute door theme parks. I need a guy who's really comfortable on theme park rides. I mean, I met a guy recently who's Asian, not Indian, in the UK, and he seems quite nice, but he's demi-romantic, predominantly aromantic, and so that's not really going to be compatible. I need someone who wants to pursue a romantic relationship, who wants to kiss me, who wants to cuddle with me, who wants to be romantic with me. I think he's a Cupid romantic though, so he said he'd like to do romantic things with me, but I'm not very confused about what that would be. But I really would like a guy to want to do romantic things with me, as in because he loves the act of kissing me. So I don't know if they need to be absolutely romantic. If they really enjoyed being romantic with me despite not experiencing romantic attraction towards me, I'm not sure if that would be okay. I guess it depends if they enjoyed it and found it a good experience or not. I think I'd still prefer to be with someone who's really romantic and loves me in a romantic way. So you have to really, you have to be a bit like seeing what, sort of things you could compromise on, or things that you might be able to be with, live with, deal with. But it's no good. It's no good if it's not going to work for you. If you know in the beginning that it's not going to work because that person's not right for you, or they can't give you what you want in your relationship, there's no point in carrying on. Do you know what I mean? You can be friends, but that's it. And I think there comes a time when you have to ask yourself, what's most important in life to you. It might be that relationship's not the most important thing in your life right now. It might be career or other things and hobbies. But when you have to, when you're going to think about relationship, you should give your all to it, your effort, your time, your energy, and you should prepare yourself for that person coming into your life. Because I think the problem is with a lot of people, they're not really ready for a relationship. They really want it. And then when it's handed to them on plate, they don't want it. They're not really ready for it. And they've not prepared. I've been preparing for years to be in a relationship with someone, but still enjoying the single life as it is, if that makes sense. So I'm fully aware of the space I need to make in order to accommodate that person into my life. Obviously I don't know the exact ins and outs of everything until I'm with them. But I think about the most amount of time I could spend with them per week, what I would like to talk to them about, communication, how I'd like them, I guess my ideal type of look in terms of a guy, his looks, personality, hobbies, interests, things he's doing for a living, that type of thing. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, just be very clear on what you want. Take a notepad and pen, write it down exactly your ideal person. So write draw an avatar, like your ideal person, what they look like, what hobbies, interests they have, what their personality would be like, where they live, what job they do, and just sketch it all out, your ideal person, because you're more likely to get the type of people you want or the type of person you want if you have a really strong idea of what you want. What your heart desires all starts with you. So make sure you get all that written down, draw it all out, and know yourself. Don't be disconnected from yourself. Look within yourself and reflect and know yourself. Inside out and backwards, exactly what you want. Tell you, if I was to ask you a question right now, what's your ideal person? What gender, what age, where do they live, what job have they got, what hobbies do they have, what interests do they have, what hair color, what eye color, what body shape? Could you tell me what hobbies, interests they have, what physicality they're like? Could you tell me? Because I could pretty much tell you all of them things in my ideal guy. So Anyway, until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. If you found this video helpful, insightful, useful in any way, shape or form, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think may benefit. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And embrace your quirky and each other's. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.